不用拍谁的 just tell me 再来过 OK 好 oh shit sorry Hi everyone this is Naikong today I'm going to share with you 8 steps of 8 steps of becoming a successful music producer If you wanted to be a music producer, you always start with the music genre that you love most or you are comfortable at most. Because the thing is, if you don't really know a music genre enough to love it, you won't be able to reproduce or produce for someone. Okay, because music is so wonderful that it connects with you instantly, no matter what style. Like some people love metal, some people just love EDM, some of them just love jazz. No matter the music, when you want to become a music producer, always start with something that you love and then you slowly expand your horizon. When you have more exposure, that's when you become more fluent in other music genres as well. With the advancement of media and everything, it becomes not necessarily whatever instruments that you start to learn. Same with music genre that you love. If you start with a particular instrument that you really love it, like you love rock, definitely you start with guitar, you know, kind of things like that. You start from the instruments, work your way up there, and then slowly, maybe if you can do a little bit of keyboard work, I think that should be fine enough. Even for drummers, many instrumentalists nowadays, right, they don't only know a single instrument as per se, they know a little bit of keyboard, then maybe some keyboardists like myself, I can play some simple pattern and things like that. So it's always good to have a primary instruments of your own where you actually play that particular instruments really well, and then second, third instruments and things like that, you have to know a little bit, because as a music producer you have to have vast knowledge about instruments, how to place them, what is their range, what is their character, and what is their position in certain music composition. I would say if you have a chance to study it and to really master an instrument, yes, because it will actually accelerate your speed of growth in music and things like that. But if you didn't have a chance to learn any instruments and things like that, it's not necessarily to become demoralized just because you don't know any instruments. You still can do music.
There is always hope, my friend.
When you talk about abstract art, even in music, right, you have a certain field which you have not been limited by your music knowledge. That's where actually you can go further. I think it is very important to listen to all types of music. Let me just explain a little bit further, elaborate music. Why do we prefer some music and why do we hate some music? Because the thing is, our mind and soul, right, when it connects to music, we need to have a certain experience that we have gone through in our life together to gel with the music that we listen to. So even in context of music producer, right, the more experience that you gain out of the music or out of your life, it will be much better when you produce a certain singer or produce a certain album, because you are bringing their life experience to the audience, and the audience can actually feel your life experience through your music much better. Nowadays you have numerous choice of DAW that's available. The main digital audio workstation like Pro Tools, Cubase, Reason, or even Ableton, these are the few main ones that many of us are using. But if you just started out, you can do like Studio One, Fruity Loops. I think those DAW can actually shape the way how you do a particular kind of music. Musicians tend to be, they like to work alone, because what happened in your mind, right, when you have something to go, so many things in your mind, you visualize things that you can actually do it alone. That's when you first started, you thought you can do it alone. Okay, very few successful music producers that actually can do it alone. And then in Chinese music, maybe you have a person like Ronghao, where you can see from all the way from music to video is all by him. Not many of us who are as talented. So for normal humans like us, right, it's advisable to actually collaborate with others, because when you have different ideas gel together, there's always, like, you know, much bigger idea. Same for songwriting. So yes, it's advisable to actually collaborate, but make sure you collaborate with the right people. Yes, it's important, but not necessarily like you need to do it all the time. You see, when music in the 30s, 50s, 70s, or even 80s, right, they don't have music references. They just go their own way. They have a lot of time to explore their own musical ideas and things like that, because those days, right, the music budgets were way bigger than what we have now.
70 years later.
Phone bill, rent bill, man I work every day, I can't afford a meal.
So they have actually the luxury to experiment and to actually create their music. Some they can take 1 year to create one song, some take 3 years to create one song, but nowadays I don't think we have the luxury or even time to do that. So it's advisable to start somewhere, your favorite music reference, or you think that when you have written a certain song, the idea feels like from one song A, but your bass line and your groove feels like from song B. You can actually mix and match both and make it your own. For music reference, that's how you do it, but not copy. I think when you start a composition, right, be it you have been commissioned to do it because you have a certain deadline, or you just feel like doing it because you have the inspiration to do it somehow, you need to finish it so that when you start a story, you have a very, very good starting point, a good introduction, all the way until the middle. Maybe you are stuck somewhere. So just stop for a while and then come back maybe a few days. Some people take few months to come back because you have different life experience, so you are able to complete it somehow. I don't have this luxury. It means like you just have to finish it no matter what, because the client is chasing you. But for start, right, let's say you beginner, you want to write songs and things like that, it's always advisable to finish a song no matter how bad or how good it sounds, because the thing is that is part of your life experience, part of your growth. So finish what you started. Okay, I think most important thing is you got to have a decent computer. Nowadays everyone is using laptop. I think very, very few people are using desktop. You ask me the budget of a reasonable laptop to start with music production, I would say somewhere between at least 4,000 to 5,000 ringgit for PC, and then for a Mac at least you have to start with 6,000 ringgit. That also not including the software, the DAW that we talked about just now earlier. You can start with Cubase, Element, which is cheap. Pro Tools, I think they have different versions also, Pro Tools LE and things like that, depending on your budget and things like that. Maybe you don't need the feature that much, so always start somewhere cheaper. Summary is a good PC, a good DAW, and then a good sample playback instruments. That's how I started anyway. Unless you are doing live instruments like band and things like that, then it's advisable to get a good mic, good room, and good acoustic. Okay, for a start, right, you get a laptop. For example, if you love PC or you love Mac, you know where to get. But it's advisable to start somewhere not too low spec, especially your laptop, because music software tends to use more memory than your word sheet and word and spreadsheet kind of work. So yes, advisable to start with 4 or 5K, the spec of your laptop. But my ultimate controller is actually this MP11 SE, which I use, have like really, really great feature. For more information, please refer to my previous video, so you can actually find out more about this thing.